All right, let's jump right in. We're here today to talk about one of the most critical challenges facing, well, every financial institution in Nigeria right now, the new CBN compliance mandate. We're going to break down what this really means for us and explore a clear, strategic way forward that actually mitigates risk and guarantees compliance. Let's get started.
And we have to start with the most pressing reality of all. The clock is ticking. This is not a suggestion from the central bank. It's a hard deadline. We have a 3-month window to define our entire strategy for this new regulatory era. That really underscores the urgency of the decisions we have to make, starting today.
You know, this mandate signals a really fundamental shift. The era of manual processes and siloed after-the-fact monitoring, well, it's officially over. The CBN has raised the bar for the entire industry. And let's be honest, the tools that got us here just aren't going to get us to where we need to be.
Now, what's really important here are the specifics. These aren't some vague guidelines. The CBN is demanding real-time monitoring, not batch processing. They want AI that can actually explain its decisions, which, as you know, is a major hurdle for a lot of those black box systems. And it all has to be built on integrated platforms where our data is hosted securely right here within Nigeria. It's a pretty serious technological gauntlet they've thrown down.
So the big question is, what happens if we don't meet these new standards? This is where the conversation really shifts from just a technology problem to a massive business risk. And for a board, understanding these consequences is, well, it's everything.
Let's start with the world we're already living in. We are operating in a 52 billion naira annual fraud loss environment. Now, this isn't some future projection. That's the current cost of doing business today. The new CBN mandate is in many ways a direct response to this staggering number. Any failure on our part to upgrade our systems means our exposure to this loss just keeps growing.
And the risk goes way beyond just direct fraud losses. We're talking about heavy regulatory sanctions, both financial and personal. We're talking about reputational damage that could permanently erode the trust of our customers. And then there's the ultimate consequence, a significant, real risk to our operating license. This frames the choice pretty clearly, doesn't it? It's a choice between a controlled investment and a completely uncontrolled, catastrophic risk.
So that brings us from the problem to a very specific, targeted solution. We're not looking at some generic tool that's just been adapted for Nigeria. We're looking at a platform that was purpose-built for this exact regulatory and operational environment.
So what is it exactly? Well, AI Shield Nexus is an enterprise-grade platform that does two absolutely critical things at the same time. It unifies real-time fraud detection with automated compliance. And, this is key, it does all of this while guaranteeing every single piece of data stays within Nigeria, satisfying that crucial data sovereignty requirement right from day one.
You know, this is really the key to de-risking the whole technology adoption. Many of our core banking systems are robust, but they just weren't built for the age of real-time, AI-driven threats. AI Shield Nexus acts as that essential intelligence layer. It connects our legacy infrastructure to the demands of modern financial crime fighting, but without forcing us to do a complete, painful overhaul of our core systems.
Okay, so for any board, the technology has to be proven, it has to be secure, and it has to be reliable. So let's take a look under the hood at the architecture that's designed to provide exactly that confidence.
First things first, data security and sovereignty are completely non-negotiable. This architecture addresses that head-on. It guarantees that our data never ever leaves Nigeria. It can be deployed in our own private cloud or even our own data center, and there are even air-gapped options for the highest level of security. This design means we are fully compliant with the CBN's data localization rules from the very start. No questions asked.
Now, what does real-time actually mean in practice? It means event correlation. It's the platform's incredible ability to see a transaction on a mobile app, an ATM withdrawal, and a NIP transfer and instantly connect those dots to spot a complex fraud pattern as it's unfolding. That's the difference between stopping a fire and just documenting the ashes later.
And this isn't just theoretical. The integration points with the Nigerian financial ecosystem are already mapped out. We can see right here, direct connectivity to NIBS for instant payment monitoring, to BVN and NIMC for identity verification, plus secure connectors for our own core banking systems. This just shows a deep, practical understanding of our day-to-day operational reality.
Okay, the technology is impressive, for sure. But the ultimate question for the board is always the same. What's the business impact? What is the return on this investment?
This first number is a direct hit on that 52 billion naira problem we were just talking about. a proven 70% reduction in fraud losses. This isn't just a compliance tool, it's a powerful financial lever that directly protects our bottom line. Next up, operational efficiency. 80% of routine compliance cases are automated. Just think about the thousands of person hours that frees up. It lets our expert teams focus on the most complex threats instead of being buried in paperwork. It makes our entire operation smarter and way more efficient.
And finally, speed. An average case resolution time of under 5 minutes. When fraud is happening right now, or regulators are on the line, this kind of speed is an absolutely critical capability. It dramatically reduces financial exposure, and it shows a high level of operational control.
So the impact is clear. But how do we get there without turning the entire business upside down? This is maybe the most critical part for a risk-averse board, the implementation plan. Let me be clear, this is not a risky, big bang project.
The rollout is broken down into 3 really manageable phases. Phase 1, which happens in the first 90 days, is called Stop the Bleeding. The objective is crystal clear: achieve immediate fraud detection and, crucially, submit our board-approved roadmap to the CBN, hitting that deadline. From there, Phase 2 focuses on scaling and automating across the whole enterprise. And Phase 3 is all about strategic expansion and achieving mature AI governance. It's a step-by-step journey, not a leap of faith. And the best part? We can start immediately. This slide lays out concrete, manageable actions we can take this week. These aren't huge undertakings. They're the first, decisive steps that build momentum and put us on the right path, starting with confirming the governance committee and formally scoping the engagement.
So, the crucial takeaway is this. We're faced with a non-negotiable deadline and a complex set of technical requirements. AI Shield Nexus represents the most direct, secure, and de-risked path to achieving full compliance. It's simply the fastest way to get from where we are today to where the CBN mandates we absolutely must be.
And that leaves us with one final framing question. The deadline is locked in, the risks of doing nothing are clear, and they're significant. So the decision before us isn't just about meeting a regulatory requirement. It's about how we choose to move forward. Do we act defensively, just to check a box? Or do we act strategically and turn this mandate into a genuine advantage that protects this institution for years to come?